Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome aboard the Wild Asian Monorail. My name is Aileen, and I'll be your guide and driver for today. My first job is to make sure you have a safe ride, but I'm also excited to introduce you to all of our animals. For your safety, please remain seated at all times. Standing is strictly not permitted at any time during this ride, and please keep your hands, hands, feet, items, and children inside the car, please. Also, do note that eating and drinking are not allowed on this ride. The water's okay. Rules are posted on the sign in front of the car if you forget them. Now, here is our first meadow, our Kanha meadow. We take care of different kind of deer and one kind of antelope here. Towards the middle of the field, we got some Bactrian deer. Now, the Bactrian deer are actually considered a subspecies of red deer. Although they're not red as you can see, they're pale gray in color. Recently, a researcher from WCS was able to confirm that the Bactrian deer still exist in Afghanistan after not being seen for nearly 40 years. Look at the antlers on these guys. I'm sure you've also noticed we got a bunch of peacocks here, or peafowl. Peacocks is what you call male peafowl. Female peafowl are called peahens, and their children are called peachicks. They're also the national animal of India. You'll see them all over the zoo, and also all over the tour as well, not just here. Now, if you've noticed that a lot of our peacocks have dropped their feathers, that's because they've successfully attracted a mate. They're mainly used to attract a mate. And when they found one, they don't need them anymore, so they drop and they grow in next season. Now, here at the Bronx Zoo, we have a large number of deer, with up to 10 deer species in Wild Asia alone, and herds of more than 40 individual deer, which is something really special. Having such large groups of animals is how you find them living in the wild. The big reason we maintain a large herd here at the Bronx Zoo is to help keep the genetics of the species healthy. We work with zoos all over the world to ensure we have a healthy genetic bank in our populations. Now, as we make it around these trees, we'll be entering our next enclosure, which is where we keep our Mongolian wild horses. Now, believe it or not, these are some of the last true wild horses in the world. And you'll notice they look different from our domesticated horses. They're shorter, stockier, they don't have bangs over their eyes. Instead, they have mohawks. Now, I'm sure you'll notice that one of them is smaller than the rest, the one in the middle. That's the newest born foal. It was born just 3.5 months ago. Now, those horses actually went extinct in the wild in 1969 due to a number of things, including habitat loss, conflict with humans, competition with livestock, and a series of harsh winters created by changing climates. Recognizing the threat, zoos like the Bronx Zoo started maintaining breeding populations and were able to keep the species alive in human care. It took a lot of planning, a lot of work, and a lot of care. And the hard work paid off. Oh, looks like our train has decided to stop a little bit. Let me just get this going again, see what we can do. There we go. In the 1990s, wild horses were the first species to return to their native habitat after going extinct in the wild. Today, there's a few hundred wild horses living in Mongolia and in China. We've continued our breeding programs and over 50 horses have been formed right here at the Bronx Zoo, including the one you might have seen earlier. And we're proud you can play a part in making sure that these horses will be around for a long time. Now, I'm sure you've noticed we're still in our Mongolian wild horse enclosure. That's because we like to give our animals a lot of room to run and play around, and believe me, they use every inch of the space. For now, we can just sit back and relax, enjoy the view. Just a few facts about the monorail. This track spans 2.2 miles all the way around, and it takes an average of 20 minutes to go in a loop, going at 5.5 miles an hour. Now, as we reach the top of this hill, we'll be making our way towards our next enclosure, which is where we keep our gaur. Gaur, spelled G-A-U-R, are the world's largest wild cattle species in the world. A fully grown male gaur can be up to 6 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh up to 2,000 pounds. That's as much as a small car. Now most of them are on the other end of the field. We'll get there very soon. An important part of caring for these animals is moving them from this area you see here to their overnight habitat in the far back corner. And that process is called shifting. Here at the zoo, animals move between these areas every day. So how exactly do you shift a herd of 2,000-pound animals? As you'll see very soon, they're very large creatures. You can't just go out and push them. Keepers have some tricks up their sleeves. They know those animals well, and know which ones will move for grain and hay, and which ones will move for fruits and veggies. Once you get the right ones moving, the rest will be soon to follow. Now if you look on the other side of the fence, you can see a few of them standing and lying down. But you'll be able to see them much closer once we go on the other side of the enclosure. So no need to worry about not seeing them. In the meantime, you might notice that there's a sound coming from a city instead of an Asian jungle behind us. That's actually the Bronx River Parkway behind us if you were curious. Now even though gaur are massive creatures, they do still have to be alert in the wild. Very soon around this bend, we're gonna meet a larger predator of the apex predator. Relative to the apex predator. Now this predator weighs between 250 and 350 pounds on average. Has a bite strength of 1,000 pounds per square inch, with 3 to 4 inch canine teeth and carnassial back teeth that can act like scissors to share meat. That's how rough enough to strip flesh from bones, sad non-necrotic paws with 4 inch retractable claws, and a senseless smile able to attract prey for mounts, even through snow or dense forests. We have the apex predator of China, eastern Russia, and the Korean peninsula. Now you're going to want to stay seated here because you wouldn't want to fall out here. We're about to look for our tiger. And there he is right now. He's walking through the bushes, but I think he's gonna come up this hill, so you don't need to stand up to see him. I'll go slow enough so he has time to walk up the hill. That's our male Amur tiger, and his name is Anakin. Now, no need to stand up because he will go up this hill eventually. You'll see him from where you're sitting. Just a reminder that standing is not allowed, please. Now he is a tiger, and tigers are solitary creatures, which means they like to be alone. That's why there's only one of them in the field at one time at most. We do have more tigers. They're at Tiger Mountain. It's only one shuttle stop away from here if you'd like to look for more. Even though he's an apex predator, they can behave like cats sometimes. For example, you would give a house cat a scratching post. We have to give our tigers entire tree trunks, so they can scratch like they would in the wild. Now as we leave their tigers on behind, we'll be entering the back of our gaur enclosure. You can see them much closer from back here. Now take a close look at their horns. You can tell whether they're male or female by the way they curve. If their horns curve inwards, those are female gaur, and if they curve directly upwards, those are male gaur. When they gather back here near the end of the day as part of the shifting process, I like to call it gaur hour. Now here is the back of our Conha meadow. The meadow we started our tour with. Towards the left side of the field along the fence, we have bear singa deer. Those are the orange colored ones. Also known as swamp deer because they like to hang out in the marshlands of India. In the middle of the field, the deer with the spots are called axis deer. And all the way towards the back along the hills, we got the black-buck antelope. Those are the small tan animals with white underbellies back there. Down here along the fence, we got more bear singa deer. And as we make it around this bend here, coming up, we're going to be approaching our baby rusa, which is a type of wild hog. Now, hogs can be very shy, but they can build relationships with their keepers. Take our female baby rusa, Ivy. She was very shy when she came to us at the age of 2. Little by little, her keepers Phil and Mary were able to win her trust and build a relationship. When Ivy started showing signs that she might be pregnant, she trusted them enough to apply jelly in her abdomen and use an ultrasound wand. 4 months later, her baby Sprout was born. As we approach this bamboo here, we'll be entering their enclosure, and right in the middle we have a male bambusa. He's playing around in the mud right now. And in this next field over, we got another male bambusa, who might be a little shy at this moment. Speaking of relationships, we're now approaching a big animal who has a big relationship with her keepers. I'd like to introduce you to Patty, our Asian elephant. She's right down here next to the fence. I know she's gonna be a little difficult for those in the back row to see, but you're welcome to ride the monorail again. She might be in a different spot later. Also, just like to remind you guys that standing is not allowed, please. Standing is not allowed, please. If you guys keep standing, I have to skip the animals. I'm sorry, guys. In the pink hat, can you please take your seat? Siéntate, por favor. Thanks. Now, as we leave our elephant zone behind, we'll be entering the zone of another large land mammal, our greater one-horned rhinoceros. As we enter this field, let's see, where's our rhino? Looks like she's on the other side of the field right now. I'm going to speed the train up a little bit so we can find her faster. If you look carefully towards the back, she's actually next to the fence, but you'll be able to see her better once we're on the other side. That's our female rhino, and her name is Kelly. Now, if you look around carefully in this area, you might notice there's a bunch of mud wallows. Those are her favorite resting spots. Rhinos will use those wallows to stay cool and also help keep pesky biting insects off their skin. While our keepers help maintain the muddy pool, the rhinos will also use their feet and horns to keep the wallows dug out, just like they would in the wild. And even though the mud bath is a great way to keep their skin healthy, sometimes they do need a little extra treatment from their keepers. Believe it or not, they can develop rashes and allergies just like we can. We even have one rhino that needs sunblock during the sunnier parts of the year. Even though her skin looks thick and tough, like a rock, it's actually really sensitive. That's why she needs these mud wallows here. Now, as we leave our rhino area behind, our observation skills are about to be tested. In these next few areas, we're going to be looking for different kind of deer and one kind of antelope. You can actually see a few of them lined up along the fence on the other side of the trees here. Now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret about working with animals. Sometimes everything goes exactly as you would expect, but sometimes it really doesn't. One of the alternate times of the year is spawning season. With so many deer species, this area can get a little busy. Our keepers prepare for everything. They monitor the herd and record who's expecting. But when it comes time for a fawn to be born, that part is still up to Mother Nature. In the wild, you don't want to show that you might be slow of prey because you're carrying a large fawn, so it can be very hard to tell when a female is expecting. So sometimes we do have fawns born right on exhibit. Us guides, and even you guys, are the eyes up high. Since we're constantly scanning these areas, we can report anything we see to the keepers. Now, if you look towards the back of this field, along the hills, you might see a few of our hog deer sitting on the rocks. And the hog deer get their name from their hog-like appearance, as you may be able to guess. They also come from India and Sri Lanka. Seems like the rest of our deer are on the other end of the field. We'll get there very soon. Now, it's not unusual for an unexpected calf to make its way back into the barn at the end of the day, but sometimes it could be one last. If there's another hog deer next to this fence. In the wild, many deer often like to move their babies shortly after birth and hide them in tall grasses, thick brambles, and in tree hollows. So imagine this. You're a keeper at the end of a long day. In comes the herd and all the adults are accounted for. They're expecting 5 fawns, but you only count 4. one of them is missing. So now you have to go out and scan the habitat to locate a very well camouflaged fawn before you can call it a night. After some searching, calf number 5 is found and reunited as well. Now if you look all the way towards the back of this field, in the corner underneath the shade of the trees, you'll see some of our sandbar deer. Sandbar deer are the largest deer in southern Asia. Males can grow up to 5 feet tall at their shoulder and weigh up to 650 pounds. Here in the top right corner of this field, we have a few of our nilgai antelopes. Those are the really big animals you'll see back there. If you look carefully, you might be able to see the stripes on their hooves. It looks like they're wearing boots. Along the fence, we have brown antlered deer. Those are the ones that look like hog deer but slightly bigger. Scanning these exhibits is a part of the zookeeper's routine, but a well-headed calf can push dinner plans back a little bit. It's a great reminder that no matter how much we plan, these are still wild animals making their own wild choices, and we have it no other way. In this field, we take care of Chinese tufted deer, but they prefer cooler weather, so they might not be out at the moment. Remember, these are wild animals that are able to make choices if they want to. So I just had to stop the train there because there was a peacock on my track. Now as we make it around this bend here, get your cameras ready because soon we'll be crossing over the Bronx River again. If you missed your chance at the beginning of the tour to take your photos, here's your chance again. This is one of the best views in the zoo. If you look across the river, you'll see the bridge where we started our tour at. There's also another train going out. Our next animal is one that sometimes stops us in our tracks, no pun intended. If you take a look down in this field, at the bottom of the trees, you'll see our corgoes. There's a few on the rocks here towards our right as well. And on top of this rock too. Now the marked corgoes are known for their incredible spiral horns. Not only are those spiral horns used to deter predators who may think they're easy game, they're also used to spar against other males in competition for females. As majestic as we think the marked corgoes look, male marked corgoes will display their tongues in front of females in an attempt to attract them, and female marked corgoes find them irresistible. Fun fact, they can jump up to 6 feet high in the air without a running start, despite being the largest wild goat species in the world. And now last but not least, the final animal of our tour. If we take a look towards our right, in the small tree next to a big tree, he's there sitting on his branch right now, we have our red panda, and his name is Linus. Now, despite the name red panda, they're actually not related to the giant panda at all. And also, they had the name panda first. It means bamboo eater. They're also known as the Himalayan raccoon, cat bear or bear cat, and also fire fox. The Chinese word for red panda translates to small bear cat. If you'd like to see more of our red pandas, you can visit our Himalayan Highlands exhibit. It's located just a short walk from here. There you can also see some snow leopards if you'd like. Alright, we've met a lot of animals today and hopefully received a little glimpse into what it takes to care for them both here and in the wild. As we make it around this final bend here, our tour is almost over. But before we end our tour, I do need to ask you guys one question. You can say the answer out loud or keep it to yourself if you want. And that is, who of these is important in saving wildlife and wild places? Is it A, animal keepers and tour guides? B. Wildlife scientists and eco guards. C. Guests visiting the Bronx Zoo and riding the monorail. Or D. All of the above. If you guessed D. All of the above, you would be correct. It will take the effort of everyone. Everything you've seen from Planet the Elephant, Sonic and the Tiger, to the herds of deer is part of a much bigger story. It's a story about care, about relationships, about survival, and about the work it takes to protect wildlife and wild places, both here in the Bronx and around the world. And that includes you. Your visit is an act of conservation. If you want to have a bigger impact, you can stop by one of our gates and ask about becoming a member. But for now, I do need to stop the train here for just a little while. There's another train ahead of us on the platform. As soon as the train ahead of us leaves, I'll get this one moving again. Thank you for your patience. The train ahead of us has left the platform. I'll get this one moving very shortly. As we pull into the station, please remember to stay seated until the ride comes to a complete stop. For those of you in the first 6 cars, your exit will be towards your right. Those of you in car B6, your exit will be straight ahead of you. And those in the last 2 cars, your exit will be towards your left. Also, please make sure you watch your step as you exit the train. Those in the front row, there is a step up. All those in the back row, there's a step down. Again, thank you for your support in helping save wildlife, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your visit here at the Bronx Zoo.
You guys have fun?
Earlier. What animal did you see?
Here we are, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your visit here, everyone.